Okay, we are live. One second, I make Sophie the host, and we can start. Okay, good evening, everyone. For those in the Zoom meeting and for those who are following or we will follow the, okay, we are live. Sorry, there is a background noise, of course. Okay, and for those who will follow the meeting on YouTube. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Virginia Fiume, and I am the coordinator of EUMANS, the citizens movement that is also promoting the European Citizen Initiative Stop Global Warming .eu. And I guess my connection is between me right now. No, I hope you can hear me. Okay, I guess you can. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, sorry. So tonight is Thursday, the day of that easy that we discuss issues that are related to participatory democracy and what citizens in the European Union can do for sustainability and democracy. The meeting of tonight, I'm very glad because it was at the core of what we try to do, which is to use participatory democracy not only as a symbolic token to the decision-making processes of the European institutions, but really as an instrument to make change happen. And tonight we have as guests and partners for this path, the promoters of some of the most disruptive, someone would say, European citizen initiatives on the table that are currently pursuing one of the biggest challenges that our committed citizens can do in the European Union, which is try and collect 1 million signatures for a proposal that can be discussed by the European Commission and the European Parliament because of the new regulation of European Citizen Initiative. For those of you that are in the meeting or following that are not familiar with the European Citizen Initiative instrument, I think it's worth to explain it in the introduction so that the speakers then don't have to explain. I think you are used to do this all the time. So the European Citizen Initiative is an institutional and official instrument of participatory democracy provided by the European treaties, which basically allows committees of citizens to propose reforms to the European Commission in the fields where it has competencies through the collection of 1 million of signatures of EU citizens. A certain threshold of signatures need to be reached in at least 7 EU member states. And through this collection of signatures, in 1 year time, in 12 months, the proposal can go on the table of the European Commission. It seems simple, one said, but it's not at all. Or we have very strong limitations for the paper collection of signatures, but can the signatures on. The Commission recognized this problem. Sorry,
Virginia,
okay.
I think.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is a bad connection. I think if you could maybe turn off the video, I think the sound would be better.
Thanks, Lorenzo. Tell me if it's better.
Yes, seems to be better.
Is it? Okay, thank you. Sorry, so I was saying the European, I don't know where you have lost me, but I will go on. So the Commission guaranteed an extension of the terms for the collection of signatures. But the reality is that only extending the terms of the collected signatures doesn't solve what we think it's at the core of the problem of European Citizen Initiative. And the problem is that the task of collecting 1 million signatures is carried on in the basically silence of the media, of the communities. Citizens don't even know sometimes or very often what is the difference between an ECI and different other forms of petitioning. So what us as promoters of StopGlobalWarming.eu, the European Citizen Initiative for a Carbon Pricing in the EU, did was to reach out to other committees, and we sent together a letter to the commissioner that is in charge of the European Citizen Initiative, which is Commissioner Jourova, but also to other stakeholders that can play a role in informing citizens about the rights of participation through the signatures on ECI. So the letter was sent also to the regions, the Economic and Social Committee, but also to the European Broadcasting Union and the European Federation of Journalists, as well as the President of the European Parliament and Mr. Antonio Tajani, who is the President of, the Chair of AFCO Committee. This letter, which you have seen in the convocation and you can find also in the link later on, asks Commissioner Jourova for the second time to have a meeting to propose some ideas of ordinary and extraordinary measures of information around European Citizen Initiative. When I say ordinary, I mean, we mean like increasing the budget that is given to participatory democracy to equalize what is currently spent on the representative democracy instruments, but also to actuate some directives, side them one by one, to all that municipalities and regions have as little motion of participatory democracy. As StopGlobalWarming.eu, we are already activating some municipalities, and this is self-successful. However, something that should be systematized. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to find together ways as European Citizen Initiative promoters to break the silence around participatory democracy, and to make sure that our initiatives have the possibility to be successful. Successful means collecting the 1 million of signatures, but also a part in the public sphere at the same level of the years of representative democracy. Because we will hear tonight from the promoters of ECIs, and we have the Stop Finning Initiative, the Freedom to Share Initiative. I think the Universal Basic Income Initiative is going to join us, and the Voters Without Borders Initiative. The potential for reforming the EU here is incredible, and without an adequate debate in the European public sphere, we will never be taken seriously in what we are trying to do. So what I suggest for tonight is to try and identify actions to follow up to the letter that we sent. I have a few ideas, and but first of all, I want to stop 1 second on the reactions that we got so far to our letter. So yesterday, the Commission made a sponsored content on their Facebook page, once again about how to activate a European Citizen Initiative. We hijacked that comment with a reference to our letter, and I got a screenshot by the European Commission staff that says that they are preparing a formal reply to our letter. It's a small sign, but I mean, one by one, we will get what we want. The second thing is that the MEP Guelmi from Italian Partito Democratico heard an interrogation to the European Parliament on information measures on the European Parliament website. For sure, it's going to be a tool that we have available as a group of citizens to push this forward. But I think we can.
Virginia, I don't know if it's me, but you're still breaking off.
I know I have a bad connection, and I don't know what to do. Let me try to change it. You can't hear me at all. I mean,
No, we can hear you, but from
Ah.
time to time you're breaking off. So if you can move closer to your Wi-Fi
Yes.
antenna or something like that.
Yes, I'm closing now. So my proposals for discussion, but I want to hear also the others, would be to try to inject some European citizen initiative within the context of the potentially that might start on the 9th of
Virginia,
May.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Virginia, but we
Yes,
didn't
Lorenzo, Lorenzo, can you take over for me? Lorenzo, can you take over from?
Yeah, it's right. It's right. I think what Virginia was trying to say is that we put together in this letter to Commissioner Jourova a common objective that as co-promoters of the ECIs we share, and the letter is the way to have a formal hook to start a dialogue with the commissioner on this objective of equal dignity between participatory and electoral democracy. We want to say that our initiative should have the same dignity and the same publicity from European institutions. So I think on this basis, Virginia knows the text of the letter better than me, but I hope you managed to understand her introduction. And so from that starting point, I think we can build a kind of coalition on these objectives. Probably the best thing could be now to listen to your opinions and feelings about this potential common path that we could build together.
Sorry, I changed the connection. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was trying.
I have a proposal. It's possible that everybody can introduce himself or herself. It's better we know who is who here.
Yeah, of course. I was.
Okay, thank you.
I was only in the last 2 minutes of the introduction. Sorry to
Okay,
set up
no
the topics. So I think what I would like to suggest is to try to consider a sort of an action day or something that we can do to promote collectively our European citizen initiatives, and try to see together if the start of the conference on the future of Europe, which is aimed for being the 9th of May, could be a date to do so. EUMANS is also part of a coalition called Citizens Take Over Europe, so maybe we could also leverage this project together for this purpose. I would say let's open up the floor for the promoters of the ECIs. Maybe you can briefly also explain your ECI in itself. It's an opportunity to have others to know about that. And then let's try to see what we can do together, if we have ideas that we can share and move this from the letter to a potential success. Thank you, and sorry for my terrible connection tonight. Maybe Ronald, do you want to start? Since you brought up the idea.
Yes, my name is Ronald Laschke from Germany. I'm a substitute of Klaus Sambra, substitute of the representative of the ECI organizer team. ECI, our ECI is ECI to introduce UBI, unconditional basic income, through our view.
Thank you, Ronald. Okay, let's do a round of introduction of the different ECIs, and then we open up the floor for the topic itself.
Okay, then I will perhaps continue because Ronald Laschke has just mentioned my name. We are working together, as he has mentioned, for this UBI for ECI for UBI. Thank you.
Thank you, Klaus. I see Shined and Beniamino and Tony from Voters Without Borders. So you guys choose.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I can just go ahead and introduce our ECI. So we're from Voters Without Borders. Our ECI strives to give real meaning to European citizenship and achieve better integration of mobile EU citizens in the democratic decision-making process in the EU. It aims to recognise EU citizens as voters, no matter if they live in their EU member state of origin or in another member state. to remove obstacles to voting and standing in elections across borders, and to provide the choice to EU citizens of registering to vote in their country of residence or country of origin in municipal, regional, national, European elections and referendums. So Tony or Ben, if you want to say anything else, please go ahead.
Okay, maybe Tony and Ben can chime in during the actual debate. Gregory.
Yeah, hi, my name is Gregory Engels. I'm also from Germany. I'm a member of the Citizen Committee from Freedom to Share ECI. Our goal is to collect 1 million signatures to change the European Copyright Directive to allow file sharing of copyright protected rights, and on the same time reimburse the artists in the fair way, so that if we are successful, there is no need for such things like upload filters or closed Wi-Fi's and stuff. So it's will be a better word.
Thank you. Maybe Lorenzo, do you want to briefly pitch Stop Global Warming so we have the full...
Yeah, I'm coordinating some of the international activities of EUMANS. I'm Lorenzo Mineo. One of the activity is stopglobalwarming.eu, the ECI that you probably already know, on the to put a minimum price on carbon emission in Europe, and to shift taxation from labor to natural resources. And together with this, I'm doing other political campaigning in Italy, but what is relevant is Stop Global Warming today.
Thanks, Lorenzo. And we have also Marco Cappato, who is on a train, so can't maybe speak, so is the promoter of Stop Global.
Hello to everybody. George, I just came home. I'm the president of EUMANS and former member of the European Parliament. Thank you very much. Ciao.
Okay, so let's kick this off. We all know the content of the letter, so I think it's good to see what else we can do, what ideas we have, what needs we have to break this silence about our initiatives, because this is the last extension that we're gonna get, I think, and still doesn't solve the problem. So let's put together some ideas and see what comes out of that.
Could I start?
Yes.
Virginia, yeah. It's good to get the further extension. We have another year for Voters Without Borders. I hope it's the last extension, because you could go on forever like this, and none of us want to do that. We've had some dialogue with the Commission staff responsible for ECIs, and it is a little bit a dialogue of the deaf, actually. I don't think they quite see how difficult it is to collect signatures. I mean, we made it clear that we're not skeptical about ECIs because we've had great success so far. I mean, the first of our demands to revise the existing political rights has actually been accepted by the Commission and put in its work program. So, you know, we're doing very well on the substance, but signature collection is really heavy lifting. And we had some fairly simple demands, like, what the hell is going on the website of the Commission? I mean, what is the traffic there? Are we getting people from within countries? Are we getting people living in other member states, or people living in the rest of the world? That's kind of important to us, because the beneficiaries of our ECI are the mobile population. And they come up with a whole string of technical arguments about how this is all very difficult, but they could do it for a limited number of member states. And the dialogue really went on like that, where they come up with very sophisticated technical arguments. And we say, oh, that's very interesting, but actually we can't really cope with any more technology than we have to at the moment. This is a group of Erasmus students. It's not heavily funded. It's not sophisticated. I think the difficulty we have with the Commission is that we will still nevertheless have to pitch some of our arguments at a fairly technical level. For example, if you go to the Europa page, you see quite a lot of stuff about how to defend your European rights. You don't see anything about how you can actually also take initiatives and try to shape the agenda of the EU. So if there was more on the ECI simply on the Europa homepages, and that then from there people would automatically go to the ECI page, we might get at least a reasonably steady flow of signatures coming simply from the ECI portal. At the moment, I don't see it happening at all, because every time there's a movement on signatures, it's due to Sinead and the Irish or Linda and the Czech. I sort of think, this is very interesting. They're doing much better than the Commission website, actually. At least that's my perception. I mean, it'd be very interesting to hear from other organisers whether they feel the same. But I do feel strongly that there should be a certain number of signatures generated simply by the fact of the Commission hosting a lot of ECIs and having a website. I mean, we had a row with the Commission about the launch, because we said it was great you put out a press release when the ECI was accepted, but we couldn't collect any signatures at that point. But you didn't put out a press release, for example, the day we launched signatures, although we're supposed to agree with them. So my conclusion is that it's the old story with the EU. They're great legislators, and they think that if they revise legislation as they did for the ECIs and have a new regulation, everything else will follow. And I think the problem is they just don't have the administrative culture for this. You know, if you look at a lot of city halls, I mean, they recruit people like you, Virginia, to do this kind of work. You know, they get people in who've been at the sharp end of communication efforts and know how to get on the same wavelength as civil society people. So we've somehow got to get at these problems, and I think the letter is a great start. I mean, I'm really pleased that you're doing this, because I think it's absolutely right that we should be expecting more from the Commission. Otherwise, the whole cost of doing ECIs is going to be driven right up, and it will only be for very sophisticated operators. It won't be right for the people it's intended for, which is, you know, precisely people like our task force for Erasmus students. So I feel very strongly, but I do know from past experience with the Commission that you're going to have to mix the political and the technical argument somehow. And there must be people around, you know, people like We Move Europe who could have more leverage with some technical gadget solutions. That's the language the Commission is speaking primarily.
Thank you, Tony. Quick reaction on my side. I think technical solutions are great, but we don't have time. So I think what we need to search for is a scale. I mean, we do have time for long-term ordinary stuff, but I think it's important to show them the urgency of informative actions. I mean, they can't only invest in how to activate the ECI, they need to inform about signing. And I think maybe this is where also the Committee of the Regions and the Economic and Social Committee could help to kind of have a granular, very location-based type of information service, for example, and the journalists and the media. One idea that one of our activists had was that the Commission should include reference to ECIs when they do press release on matters where there is an ECI ongoing, for example. Don't want to take the floor for others, so I don't know if Ronald or Klaus or Gregory or anyone else, but maybe other ECIs promoters have other ideas to integrate with what Tony was saying.
So yeah, I'm just pick up. Sorry. So I think that's a good point already said, and that just reminds me of how we started collecting the data. So we had postponed quite a late date, and we started collecting in December. Also because of the ongoing lockdowns that started in October-November timeframe. But before that, we had actually a plan to make a press conference in Brussels, and we have spoken with the International Press Club in Brussels, and we agreed that it would be hosted by the press club, and because we are a new organization, it's the new ECI, of course, and it's the same true for every ECI that is starting. It's starting in a green field. So basically you have supporting organizations, of course, but you do not have any prior relationships with journalists. You don't have a big press network that you can rely on. So it's a good if you can tap into something that's already existing. So like making a press release together or hosted by the press conference hosted by the press club in Brussels. So this is, of course, completely voluntarily from their sides. They are not obliged to do anything, that the press is completely free. But as an idea, it would be actually very nice that if the European Commission would invite the representative from the ECI on the day of the launch to host a press conference for them, because European Commission is not a new organization. They have a very good press relationships, and if they invite to a press conference, people just come and report. So it could be like they do daily press conferences. So in one of those, just reserve 20 minutes, half an hour for a starting ECI. That would be actually very helpful because every ECI is struggling to get the message into the press, and we see with every article that is published, we see a number of signatures spiking. So it definitely makes a difference if more people get know that there is an ECI that they can sign.
Thank you, Gregory. I also remind us that one of the points in the letter is the role of the info points across the European Union. So maybe this idea of like reaching out to the media could be something that can be pushed at the info point level.
Virginia, what does it mean, info point? What is it?
Info points are these institutional European Union information points that are active in different cities. So it's a physical space where citizens can go and get information about the European Union. The fact that you ask means that citizens don't even know about the info points. So one of the ideas is let's bring life to the info points and give them something to do, basically.
I would say I totally agree, Gregory, because my experience is that nobody knows what is a ECI. If you ask a citizen in my hometown or in Germany, what is an ECI, what can you reach with an ECI, nobody knows about this. And it's very important that we have more informations and also a good structure for press release and so on, press relations, to help us so that people know, oh, wow, it's a good way for directly democracy and for more democracy and transparency in the EU. I think so.
Klaus.
Okay, thank you very much. I only want to add that I have read these 4 points, which is proposed in your letter, yes? And from my point of view, I agree of all of them. So my question is, should these be the final version, or would you expect some changes? For me, it's okay as it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Klaus. So the letter was sent last week, as I said, so on the 19th of February, and it's good that we all had an agreement around that. I think we can expand the ideas, but also, in my opinion, we are at a stage where we also need to see how we can sort of self-organize some of these points. That's why in my breaking off introduction, I was thinking that maybe the 9th of May could be a date where join our efforts for something that could be done in Brussels, but maybe also from our committees. I guess each one of us has more vibrant communities of supporters in different EU member states. And maybe we can find a way to do something that involves also the Federation of the European Federation of Journalists or the European Broadcasting Union. But I think trying to put together ECIs as a gift for the beginning of the conference on the future of Europe could be an opportunity, something to work on. I think other ideas in between from now till the 9th of May, I mean, I think the more we put together our ECIs in moments where we present them from a political impact, we become players in the mediatic mechanism as well. I think the other element, and I'm happy that there is Ophélie from Citizens Take Over Europe. For those of you who don't know, Citizens Take Over Europe is a coalition of movements and civil society organizations that are pushing for the start of the conference on the future of Europe, but also for its design as a really citizens-led process. And I think European, and I guess we all agree that European Citizen Initiative are an example of an already existing community of European citizens who share a similar goal, trust the European institutions to the extent that we bet on this daunting task of the 1 million signatures. So I think if we find a way to bring our voices also in that space, I think it's where we gain more political relevance. So the 9th of May could be an option, but maybe also intermediate steps. From a technical perspective, I think with some of you, we discussed in the past how cool would be to have a widget where you can sign more ECIs at the same time, maybe skipping the one that you don't like. I think all of these technological solutions could be explored, but on one side, technically is not possible, not technically, but regulatory is not possible, so it would be challenging the system, but maybe creating collection days, collection moments that are shared, where maybe, I make you an example, stopglobalwarming.eu is very strong in Italy, strong, very strong. It's getting stronger in Italy in terms also of mobilization for the collection of signatures. So for example, it will be easier for us to have collection points of multiple ECIs in Italy, but maybe we can't reach countries where you guys have more activists and public debate. So maybe we can, and this 9th of May could be a very sort of counter ECI day, because I'm being very honest, I'm sick of the ECI days because it's all about activating, kicking off, but this is a real marathon, and it's not about starting, it's about doing it. So I think it's time to move a bit the focus on what Tony was saying, or what Klaus was saying, or Ronald was saying. People need to know about this. I see a hand from Marco, who I guess is Marco Ciurcina.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I want first of all thank you for the letter, for the work you made. I think it's very important. I think it's, well, we all face the same problem. People don't know about ECIs. So just thank you, and let's go on with the path you started. One small suggestion. Maybe it could be useful to have a channel to communicate each other, coordinating different ECIs to have updates about feedbacks to the letter, and also maybe to share other ideas that could come up in the following weeks or months. So That's my small suggestions to you, that you have the keys of everybody now, so you can make something if you want.
Thank you, Marco. Yes, as humans, and I think this is also an opportunity for us to present who we are and what we do, but also to the people who follow. We do have a forum. It's called EUMANS Agora. And I think we could have that space. We can have maybe a dedicated space for ECIs promoters. And we do have a Slack channel where maybe we could have a dedicated channel for us to be in there together. I mean, you can isolate what you don't want to hear from the other humans activities, but both the forum and the Slack channel allows to have a very narrow conversation if we want. And I think this is something that we can share with all of us as a space to discuss, elaborate, and really become a sort of a movement of pressure, and not just people that sent one letter one time. Indeed.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to tell who I am. I am Marco Ciurcina from Freedom to Share with Gregory. Sorry for not presenting myself. And okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think maybe Marco Cappato wants to add something.
Okay. Hello?
Okay, yes.
Hi. Yes, sorry, I had to activate the microphone. Hello to everybody. I just wanted to underline.
Sorry, Marco, it's so funny. It seems you have animals as ears. Like, sorry, it looks like you have. It looks like you have a hat with two. It's super funny. Sorry.
How did I do that? I don't know.
Great.
It's just where you are placed, but it's so perfect.
Maybe it's my daughter here who is making all this. Well, the only solution is to take off the.
No, please take it.
No, Victoria, calm down. No, I just wanted to add the importance of the idea of having an initiative, a common initiative with all the European citizen initiative that could be interested in having a day in which we present to the citizens the possibility to sign all the European Citizen Initiative. Of course, this would not imply that we have to agree on the content. I mean, I cannot commit people from the promoter committee of Stop Global Warming in the file sharing European Citizen Initiative, and the contrary is also true. So it would not be an endorsement on the matter, but it would be to use Europe Day as a day in which Europe is not only something to celebrate for its past, but it's something to celebrate for the possibility of European citizenship. So we could create a common content, inviting citizens to have a look to all the European Citizen Initiative, to sign the initiative that every citizen can agree with, or at least even sign them all, just for the sake of having European institution replying to those proposals. So I think that around this initiative we could build, for example, the request of using the physical spaces that Virginia mentioned. So to use the European Union info point, but also to have, then we could ask to member of European Parliament and other European institution to support this initiative of information, of cross cross ECI information. So I think this could be a very good occasion in which we could relaunch the content of the letter to Commissioner Jourova, which should not be just a letter, but a common initiative for the right of every European citizens to be informed about European Citizen Initiative. Thank you.
Yeah. Virginia, I very much like this idea of people working together, because I think, I mean, we have arguments that it would make a lot of ECIs more successful if politics was less nationalistic, and therefore people who support Minority Safe Pack or other ECIs could also support ours to make sure that, you know, what they're asking for will actually be followed up and put into practice. So I think other ECI organizers will have similar arguments about how there are links between what they're doing and other ECIs. And I like very much the idea of having some kind of forum. And that, I think, should remind us that the Commission is paying quite a lot of money for a service contract for a forum, which is supposed to be doing this, but is not really working. And one idea, I think, would be to say that for a forum to be credible, it really has to be outside the Commission. It has to be completely independent from the Commission and run by ECI organizers, for ECI organizers, and to help newcomers as well. And I think that's a message we could get across at some stage, because the Commission must be aware that this is not functioning as intended. No one is really using the forum. I have great difficulty persuading our group of students to use the forum for sort of free advice, etc. I mean, we can only go to the forum with a question. It's never proactive. Then I think the idea of having a kind of common day, which could be 9th of May, or it could be, say, 1st of November, which is the anniversary of the entry into force of the Maastricht Treaty and EU citizenship. I think that's a great idea. And I'm really grateful for these ideas, because one feels that, you know, some of the strain is at least being shared and taken off just one's own efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. I see Ophélie from Citizens Takeover Europe. Welcome, Ophélie, first of all.
Thanks. Hi. Yeah, so as Virginia was saying, I am the coordinator of the Coalition of Citizens Takeover Europe and of the project that we are also implementing as part of the coalition. So thank you for inviting me to the meeting. And I just wanted to present myself, to introduce myself, and also to introduce the coalition at the same time. Because, I mean, as part of the coalition, we are having this project, which is called Assemblies for Solidarity. And so we're going to organize a series of citizens' assemblies between now and spring of 2022. So I think it is, you know, very valuable also for certain people who are part of this event right now to know about it, because I think it's valuable, and I'm sure we could have very interesting discussions on this, and to see also potential collaborations on that. Because also as part of the project, we are basically trying to also co-create a feedback mechanism between the citizens and the European Parliament and the EU institutions in general, including also the conference, of course, but not just. And so as part of this feedback mechanism, it will be packages of petitions and feeding into the ECIs as well. Which is why also I think I also want to, you know, your feedback also on how do you expect coalitions of citizens like the one that I am coordinating to be feeding into the ECIs, and what are the ways that you see for us of collaborating?
Thank you, Ophélie. Also because I think the whole concept of assemblies of solidarity, for example, as EUMANS, we will for sure, Ophelia doesn't know yet, but she does a little bit, work on something on the climate change issue in Italy in relation with another initiative that Lorenzo is coordinating for the institutionalization of citizen assemblies, starting from climate issue and the Stop Global Warming campaign. So basically our goal in Italy is to have one of these assemblies of solidarity organized by citizens take over Europe as part of the work that we do with other participatory democracy instruments. So maybe you guys in your countries could organize an assembly of solidarity or co-organize or get in touch with the Citizens Take Over Europe for a matter that you cover that you think deserves also a gathering of citizens and experts and a facilitated process. So this is another opportunity that I think go hands in hands with what we will do together on the specific matter of information. And again, I don't know how much you follow the rest of the processes of the European Union, but the Conference on the Future of Europe technically should be the space for exactly the matters that we're bringing up, from climate to voting rights. For example, there is the whole issue of the transnational list that somehow it's connected to Voters Without Borders, in my opinion. So definitely, I think in the channels that we will set up, we will also provide information about Citizens Take Over Europe, and maybe Ophelia, you can decide how to communicate with the guys on this as well, and we'll keep the line open since EUMANS is part of Citizens Take Over. I don't know if someone else wants to add something. I think with Beniamino, we had a chat this morning at lunch because we were in the same street. I don't know if you want to share something on the region, because you were invited as a speaker, Ben, at the Committee of the Regions, right, recently, to present Voters Without Borders.
Yes. Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, I was actually in contact with the Committee of the Regions since the beginning of February. And it was my intervention at the plenary at the beginning of the month was mainly about our ECI, so Voters Without Borders, and the role that that regions and cities have in advocating for migrants and cross-border citizens' rights, for the very fact that they're the closest and they have most competences to work on that. But of course, in talking to officials from the Committee of the Regions, I saw that they were all very open to work with ECI organizers. So that's definitely an avenue of I mean, a way we can advocate towards the institutions. Especially, they mentioned the CIVEX commission in the committee. So yes, it's definitely among the priorities of Voters Without Borders, and it could definitely be among the priorities of our coalition of ECIs on the matter.
Thank you, Beniamino. Also, I added here in the chat, I basically published the text of our letter in the ECI forum, the one that Tony was talking about, because back in November, we also presented to the committee, to the Regions Week, this methodology that we are applying to stopglobalwarming.eu, which is basically connecting with municipalities to commit them to provide information on ECIs. And I think another thing that we could do as a group is to ask the Committee of the Regions, which probably is the one that is closer to this, to systematize this idea somehow. Because to be honest, what is working for us is that we are getting a lot of support from mayors, but then they need to implement, because we use OpenECI to collect the signatures, so we can give them the embed. But follow up with a local municipality. One thing is to get in touch. One thing is to make sure that they do what they adopt in this local motion that we propose to them. But for example, a way that the Commission could do, and it's included in the letter, is to reach out to all municipalities of Europe and tell them you need to promote these links on your website, on your social media channels, and this would give us, all of us, access to all the European citizens. I mean, it's one action that the Commission can do through the Committee of the Regions or with the Committee of the Regions in one click, and it could be a game changer in 3 days for all of us. So I think this is another angle that probably we should try to pursue in parallel. Maybe we can have some of us more focusing on one and the big day. Tony, I see you moving. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, it was an accident. I have nothing to add. It's all very good stuff.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, I see there are other EUMANS activists hiding among the participants. So I don't know if you, Luca, Rotto, or someone else wants to add something. Cecco?
Okay, this is Alberto. My name is Alberto, and I'm not linked to any association, a special association, except the Italian group like Luca Coscioni Association or EUMANS. But my interest is especially to listen what is going on, because I suppose that Europe is really in the citizens that work, find something, discuss between them, and propose for the next future to change the things, especially as regards the environment. Because my profession, I used to work with the power utility, and I used to buy fuels, starting with the nuclear fuel when Italy was in the nuclear sector. Then I moved to natural gas just to power our power station. And at the end of my career, now I'm retired, I used to work on coal. And I know that coal is one of the main subject that is jeopardizing the environment for the climate change. That's all. So then I'm listening. I'm not having any proposal, any specific proposal. I just wanted to see what is going on, and of course to give a support, if I can, to you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Alberto. Also, you give me the opportunity to try to wrap up. Also, for the people that will watch this video later on, apparently these long videos are very successful because EUMANS has already 257 followers on YouTube, which means people that get notified every time that we go live. It's not a small number, we know. So I think, Alberto, the first thing that you can do is, if the other promoters of ECIs share the link of their initiatives, you can sign them if you agree with them in the idea that signature to a European citizen initiative are signatures that matters, meaning that it's not a petition, but it's an official hook within the European institution to promote these topics. So I think this is the first thing that all citizens can do, and ultimately this is the goal of this meeting, how we can have more Alberto go in there and sign the initiatives. So I think to try to conclude, we can all agree that we will, I guess, we will have a channel of communication to do these efforts together. EUMANS is, of course, happy to create this space within the infrastructure that we are building. and have. And I think the 9th of May could be the date for the appointment, and the goal of a roadmap of actions that we can do together. I think the thing is that every opportunity that we have to promote European citizen initiative together is a way to bring there the topics that are the subject of our European citizen initiatives. And of course there is the element of the Assemblies of Solidarity, which it's another instrument that you as organizers of European citizen initiatives could maybe leverage with to create that sparkles in the European public sphere, as my friend Otto taught me to say. So to create moments of debate, because ultimately this is what you need to get into the media. And I don't think it's only about getting us to talk with the media because we do something special or good press release. I think it's also because we are actors of the political debate within the European Union. And so we deserve the seat at the debate table, and also to empower the instruments that we are activating so that they are really a possibility to make change happen and not just a token to flag the participatory democracy thing of the European institutions. So I guess we have some stuff to do. I close the meeting to remind to everyone that on the 9th of March, we have the EUMANS Members Assembly. Everything that we do as an organization is supported by our members, who believe in the idea that a European citizens movement can be the instrument to carry on sustainability, democracy, fundamental rights, goals, and so you guys that are here tonight as not yet members, but from citizens doing participatory democracy things, you are all invited to our members assembly, and I'm gonna share the link here. And of course, if you also want,
they also invited to become members.
I was, yeah, you stole my firework, but you can also, if you want, also as maybe a presentation of your committee to become members. It's a way also to support what we try to do. Not compulsory, but of course, if you want to join the assembly, then just as observers, and also as an opportunity for you to talk about your experience as citizens activating participatory democracy, I think that is going to be another space where maybe find the EUMANS activist who wants to join your specific committee, as it happened with Manlio Trovato with Voters Without Borders. So thanks everyone, and I hope you all shared the link to the ECIs so that Alberto can start the signature process. And thanks a lot, and let's make change. Cool. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.